this has got to be the weirdest experience I've ever had. Right now, I'm sitting in my stepsister's old room, staring at a camera. Well, specifically, I'm looking at an LCD image of me. However, it's upside down. I feel like I'm a misfit. Unfortunately, I'm in the land of misfits. I used to be really antisocial and opinionated. I'm just glad we're graduating this year because next school year is going to be some major cutbacks. They got a right-wing extremist, washed-up bureaucrat, a superintendent, and sometimes my back used to hurt too because I used to walk around like this. I just wanted to retreat from the world. I used to draw and read, or I slept.
You can just pretend that the world's not there.
Teachers didn't like it when you did that in class, though. I'd be in math class and might have something like solve for x. You know, you saw this thing coming at you, you'd run. Sometimes the saucer's a little bigger. They're all different. I've drawn this ship 100 times. It's different every time. This is what it looks like from the front. I mean, if you saw it dead on, be like, let's stay away from this bad boy. Fly through Shuttle Bay, of course. Then the math teacher might come along and throw your stuff in the garbage. And then you have to start over. I also draw roads sometimes. And it'd be kind of redundant. They're already in that subdivision. They can just use the collector roads. I'm not making a special ramp for them. And then I'd be like, x2 equals y, x3 equals y7, and then, you know, the teacher would be like, dun, dun, dun. William, what are you doing? Yes. The story of my life.
Concession stand, huh? Well, normally I just get like stuck here because all those cruel, evil people in the Students' Council and Dance Committee, they all have lives and dates and stuff. And see, I'm here and I'm left to do everything.
I sing.
Sitting on the table here, scaring the customers away.
A lot of people say I'm not myself, or that I'm acting weird. You know, sometimes I don't want to make eye contact with people because I'm just really afraid of what they think. So I just kind of get, you know, kind of fidgety and stuff. You know, I just don't really want to, you know, look at you. And just to take you on a quick tour, here's our smoke detector. It's nice to know that the fire department is always a quick, automated, silent phone call away, should you ever burn your cereal or something. And here's just some of my mother's artwork. Life is like editing, because when you edit, you just keep the best parts, the parts you want to express, you know, your point of view. Your life, you know, your memories are your bank of raw footage, and subconsciously, consciously, you're choosing the the little bits you want to keep, and you're arranging them so as to make a complete, coherent past that you can look back on and smile about. Or if you're a melancholiac, you can be like, the world's done me wrong. At one point, they told me to stop reading Calvin and Hobbes books. I kind of became Calvin. I guess if you're playing airplane or sitting in a box in grade 6, it becomes less than acceptable. I think I also inherited his work ethic. Why did I tell that girl in grade 9 to leave me alone just because I was scared? People scare me. It's my responsibility to get my life back into order, and I will. Home is about 5,000 light years from here, hypothetically. How would you say my chances are of getting home?
Assuming current technology at 5,000 light years, very, very small. The fastest that our spacecraft are able to travel with current technology is a very small fraction of the speed of light, perhaps 1%. So under those conditions, you're looking at a period of time of 500,000 years round trip to go back home. If you were from somewhere, hypothetically, 5,000 light years away.
Oh. Can I send them a message?
Well, all forms of communication that we know of in the universe are also limited by the speed of light limitation. So without faster than light drive or the ability to somehow curve space or warp space, you are also restricted to the speed of light for sending messages. So once again, the time frame becomes thousands of years. Not very encouraging, I'm afraid.
The first couple of years, I only played with girls, and then I started getting made fun of. So then I just pretended to hate them, but secretly I really liked them. And then it was grade 11, and nobody told me that it had been okay to like girls since about grade 6, but nobody went and put a little, flashed a little LED in my eyes and said, "Oh, Will, it's okay now, ding 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 ding."
And you're essentially living like a stranger in a strange land. You're going to get there and not know anybody. You're going to be out of touch by a few thousand years.
Oh dear.
So even theoretically, if you could go that fast, you would get there short time, ship time, but by the time you got there, your world and your existence will have aged thousands of years, possibly. And there you go, you get there and you don't know anybody. You're like an ancient Egyptian suddenly brought into the modern world.
Physical activity is my game.
Oh shit, there's sap everywhere.
This is my first time visiting Point Pleasant Park, unfortunately. I had 10 years to come here. The spruce longhorn beetle came and I thought, well, gee, maybe I shouldn't visit, because I wouldn't be seeing the park as it ought to be, right? But then a little thing called Hurricane Juan happened, and you see the result all around you. Now, I'm sure there are nicer parts of the park I could go shoot in. There are probably parts of the park where maybe there are more than 2 trees standing per acre. But this, I think, represents most of it. What's an Egyptian?
Well, that's a nationality of human that lived on this planet 2,000-3,000 years ago. Well, they still have Egypt now, and it's a different modern country, but at one time it was an ancient people that lived here many thousands of years ago.
I called a lot of people nasty names. Back in high school, there were certain people I categorized as preps. I was kind of wrong, but I don't mean I'm happy about that, because once you realize that something is due to your own shortcomings, such as not visiting the park before it was nuked.
Would you like to get the boy costumes from upstairs?
Look at this look. How can I ignore this look?
Well, how could
Film,
you?
zoom in, zoom in.
I'd like to reach out and apologize to every one of them.
Go get the boys' costumes and get boys and write down who has what items.
But that would take up way too much time and be kind of weird. Because if you're not doing what everybody else is doing, then you're not connected to everybody else. I am alone. Sitting on a tree stump covered with sap in the middle of the city. I'm
If I go through here?
Yeah, of course. I'm available for bylaw infringement fines as soon as I get a job as a result of my brilliant video.
Oh.
You can come out here and see the ships go over the horizon, sort of like this. To you, it'll look like this. You can fathom that. It'll prove to you that the Earth is round, because water's supposed to be flat, right? How come the water curves? Can I make a ship that goes faster than the speed of light?
Not very easily, unless you know some technology that we do not. It is, I suppose, theoretically possible, in so much that everything is theoretically possible to some extent. And many great technological innovations in the past have been refuted to be impossible and then come sailing along to make themselves known. Heavier than air flight was considered impossible, and many good, competent engineers a few decades before it actually became a reality. So it's really difficult to call the future that hard, but for 100 years now our physics tells us that nothing can travel faster than light, and it's pretty firm. We're not exactly seeing a lot of exceptions.
My thoughts have already changed. I might say, straighten up, Will. You're gonna get out of this. Why can't you travel faster than the speed of light?
Limitations of special and general relativity require you to have an infinite amount of thrust to exceed the speed of light, because your mass increases towards infinity as you approach the speed of light. It's all as a result of Mr. Einstein's warped and twisted universe, which he essentially put in place to explain the fact that the speed of light is always a constant, regardless of motion of the observer or emitter.
Anyway, I guess I've had enough here. What? I think it worked great, except I wasn't counting on the sap on the tree stump. Got a little bit of sticky stuff there.